basic way is string searching. That's a favored way with large document collections. You type a string, but I have seen a disturbing variety of search strategies that I think would benefit from having more commonality in terms of the search patterns. Some are case sensitive, some are not, and you don't know until you've typed it, or until you've tried typing the name of a person with caps, without caps, and so on. Some do stemming, some do partial word match, some require full word match. Others search only in a title or only by author. And how do we know what they're doing? Some just search everywhere, and we may want to control where the search is done. So I think we need better ways to organize the query presentation and to allow Boolean combinations or the so-called natural language, which tends to be simple keywords that are put forward and used in combination with then relevance feedback. And that's the other part of dealing with the results. How do we handle 0 items? At the Library of Congress, the Grateful Med system, which is their medical information retrieval, 30% of all queries are 0-hit queries. These are smart people using a pretty good system. Yet, they have trouble. There are a lot of reasons they get 0 hits. But I think a well-designed system should come back and say more than 0 hits. It should try to give you an analysis of what happened. Was it spelling mistake? Was it the logic? Did you use and when you meant or? Typical mistake, very typical mistake, okay? Did you do something else that tripped up your query? Should have better feedback. The other danger, the other extreme is the too many items, where you get thousands of items back, okay, with no indication as to what you might do next. A good system should help clarify what are your opportunities to limit the number of items and refine that query. The most typical case where you get a moderate number of items, there should be better user control of the ways to present those results. Are they ordered somehow, chronologically, by name of author, by journal, by who knows what, by how many hits there were for the keywords? Are they clustered in some way? Are they relevance ranked? Or can we show them in a graphical way? Folks at MITRE Corporation use the tree maps to show the output of a query by having the areas indicate the relevance of the document clustered by the sites the documents came from. I think we can find a lot more creative ways to present results. So, search is an important opportunity for improvement. Multi-attribute selections are another typical way of finding things. Typically get a form fill-in and you can fill in any one of the categories. Do you know the author or the date of the book or the language? You can specify one or multiple items in each category. But I think the main way of finding things on the net is by menu selection and browsing around a system. Browsing is certainly an improvement for people who are doing exploration. Those pursuing known item searches are usually happy to do a string search and type in, but those doing browsing need to browse from something. So they need to see the categories on the screen. Textual overviews are acceptable. Graphical overviews are better. And the main mistake I see is that people have too deep a structure. It's well known from menu studies and hypertext studies, going past 3 levels is inviting trouble. Okay? If you have, a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 level deep structure, it's very hard for people to navigate. That's why many of the earlier Gopher tools were annoying, because there was just one menu after another going 8 or 10 levels deep. And yet, if we're to support millions of documents, how are we to do something else? If you have a branching factor of 10, to get 1 million documents is at least 6 levels deep. That's a problem. If you have 100 items branching out, you can probably get there in 3 screens. So let's take a look again at some examples. Here's one I'm not too happy about. Bell Atlantic. Nice title, header, James Earl Jones, whose voice I like, and this is the main menu. But do you know that it's a menu? It's pretty, but it's not clear what's going on. If you try to read the text buttons, New, Business, Info Center, Tech, and Consumer here, it's a little tough to spot those things, even when you're looking directly on the screen. And then on the bottom, it repeats the information. Click on the orb for what's new at Bell Atlantic, the computer for business services, the TV for information center, the staircase for technology, the table for customer service, the phone book for yellow pages. I'd have a hard time finding it. I click on one of them, or I get some other screens, and I get a moderate amount of choices, and I still see those other internet sites. I think a broader fan out is going to be much more effective in finding our way around. Let's take a look at another, some good and some not so good attributes here. Sun. I like their screen. I like their title page. There's quite a few things here. It has a nice distinctive style. This is clearly the newsletter style. And Sun did a lot of studies about their internal and external users. If you choose products and solutions, good news. You get products and solutions. And the reduced logo of Sun in the upper left, clear indication you're at the second level. And nice clustering of opportunities, about 20 choices here with opportunities for more detail. This satisfies the novice user. This satisfies the more experienced user. There's quite a bit here, but look at the dead space again. Okay? All that space could have been used in some way to better define the items or bring them up in a two-column approach so that it would fit on one screen better. On the Sun page, we also find a hello from Scott McNeely. I like people's pictures on the screen. Here it's centered, and so it's sort of less painful about the wasted space, but there's a lot of wasted space here as we try to find our way around there. Okay? Other corporate candidates, Microsoft does a nice corporate identity by showing us some of their sort of style of graphics for the Windows 95 product and uses that as a guideline for getting across. And there's a nicely structured strategy of information here. But if we go in a little deeper, we've got an interesting image map that's pretty busy here. And while I like that it offers a lot of possibilities, I found it to be a bit busy at first glance. And then the background was so dramatic that it made it quite difficult to read the bodies of text there. So watching out about too busy backgrounds is another thing to deal with. Here's another example of a two-level menu. It's intended obviously to grow, has room for more items, and shows a two-column outline, which I like. I like two-column, and I like the fact of multiple levels. But I found the background to be a little busy here as well in sorting things out. Okay, let's go back to the